Welcome to a guide from the Perplexed number 5, my irregular podcast about an irregular writer. Anyway, I wanted to just drop a short podcast here at the end of 2011, talk about where I am with some projects and the like. So my last podcast, Guide from the Perplexed number 4, I had reached a milestone with my second novel, a science fiction novel. I had finished the first draft and was sending it off to be edited. So the editing process, I am informed, is just about through, and I'm going to get my novel back with tons of comments and corrections. And then we'll begin the process of rewriting. The rewriting process will probably take a couple months again. At that point, I will have it proofread, and there will be another edit, revision on my part, where I will make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed and make any last-minute changes. And then it's time to see what kind of a life the novel will have after that. There is a new short story called An Honest One, available on orrenmerton.com. You can read it online, you can download it as a EPUB or a PDF and read it on whatever kind of browser or reader or app that you prefer. And for those of you who like to get your ebooks from one of the major vendors, it is currently sitting in the iBook store, the Kindle store, and the Nook Book store. So those actually cost a little money. Those are 99 cents. So this story is about Heinrich, who is the 12th century vampire that is the star of my novel, The Deviant. And this is part of the 19th century sort of prequel life that involves the Heinrich and Lola saga. And the Lola saga began, of course, with my previous short story called Something to Eat. And if you haven't downloaded that story, again, you can read it and download it on the site orrenmerton.com for free. So please enjoy that as well. I decided to do a short story in the Heinrich saga, specifically to capitalize on the Twilight phenom when the Breaking Dawn movie had come out. Not that I expected a mad rush of people who like teenage sparkly vampires in love to enjoy the sort of old school traditional vampire saga that is the Heinrich story, but I felt if vampires were on the tips of people's tongues, then maybe I could squeeze a little blood ba-dum-bump out of it. So anyway, the Heinrich saga is far from over. I also have plans for more short stories, eventually to be compiled into an anthology. And I even have ideas for the continuation of the Heinrich and Hope story. So as far as some of those other projects, you may have already caught on that I've got a comics podcast with my lovely wife, and that is over at comicscornerpodcast.com. We have a weekly podcast called Comics Corner, although we more or less took December off to get a bunch of personal projects done. The short story, An Honest One, being one of mine. Michelle painted a painting that took up a fair amount of her time. She and I are also working on a project that we'll be talking more about on our Comics Corner podcasts. And there's also another project that I have been working on as well. And you'll remember from my other podcasts and my Ember After website that even though our album, Grasping at Straws, came out a couple years ago, I have still slowly but steadily been working on more songs for Ember After. And I have finished the final song for the forthcoming Ember After EP called The Misery EP. So that's going to consist of 3 songs and a few different mixes of those songs. And that EP should hopefully be out at the end of January, maybe February. It depends on how long it takes to revamp the website, to get the EP mastered, to get it into the main music shops and things like that. But it's been a long time in the works because I've had a ton of things to do. My other Ember After collaborators have had a ton of things to do. So I'm really excited with the way 2012 is shaping up. I've got the Ember After EP about to drop. I'm about to start the revision of my second novel towards the goal of getting that out into the world. I've got other short stories in my head. There's the Comics Corner podcast, and as of yet, unspoken comics projects in the works. It's just a really, really exciting thing for me to be here at the end of 2011, looking at 2012, at things about to drop, not pie-in-the-sky projects, but things that are completed or in the works. And it fills me with energy and enthusiasm towards getting these things done and getting them out to you. And thank you. Thank you for being interested. Thank you for listening to the podcast and reading the short stories, the novel, the website. It means a lot to me, and it is truly the fact that people like you are interested that gives me the energy and the enthusiasm to keep doing it. So my wish for all of us for 2012 is may we find health and happiness and prosperity and productivity and everything that we are looking for. May it work out the way we would like it to. Thanks again for listening to A Guide from the Perplexed number 5. And please keep reading the stories, books, and website. Thanks again. Bye-bye.